like you're in a thriller. Heart goes pound, pound, pound. Ghostly figures, they can get so bitter. Show you want to until you can turn back. You don't know where I've been. What's going on inside? Where the monsters like to come alive, come alive. Do you really wanna know me? I'm really not that cozy. It's up to you, so you decide, you decide. Would you love me at my worst till the coffin's in the dirt? Try to break me like a curse, you know that will never work. I'm a little bit absurd, I like dancing on the verge. Anyone can love a pretty little mansion, but could you love a haunted, haunted house?
Hello. Welcome, everybody.
Good evening.
Ooh. I don't know why, but it feels nippy out, even though it's not too cold. I mean, it's actually warm. It's 39 degrees, but...
That's probably the subject matter.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Yeah. So I figured toss in some Bigfoot stories and Bigfoot talk and stuff, because we haven't got into the spooky stuff here lately.
Right.
And I've been wanting to go, hopefully this year. Salt Fork has a big Bigfoot thing, and I've talked to some of the park rangers and stuff, and they'll tell some stories. Oh man, you hear all kinds of stuff, and a lot of it is, third person type thing.
Right.
Somebody reported it to them type information. But some of them actually do have a lot of information that they've seen. One of the things is, I don't know what the wood knocking thing is. I'm not a Bigfoot person. I haven't studied it or anything like that. It's interesting to me.
It's like their Morse code.
Well, yeah. See, I don't know if it's that's the way communicating, saying, "Hey, there's somebody over here. Get back," or is it to try to warn me to get the heck out of here?
Some form of communication.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
And like one ranger was telling us that he gets rocks thrown at him all the time when he goes out and walks along the banks and stuff,
right,
to try to catch people fishing when they're not supposed to be fishing or without license and stuff.
Yeah.
And he says there's rocks thrown at him all the time. And I said, well, you sure it's not squirrels? Because squirrels will throw their nuts at you. I know it sounds weird, but
I actually hear that a lot. That they throw things. When people tell stories about them, that's like one of the main things that they do.
Yeah, and it's here lately, even in this county. Now I've heard it a county below us and a county below Muskingum County. That's stomping grounds. Somebody in this area told me that they actually migrate. Again, I don't know if this is true or not, but you kind of think it would be it's very hard for somebody to survive on an acre of land by themselves. Eventually, you're gonna eat all the animals. Basically, you can only scavenge so much stuff, and that's the thing that gets me to when you get these preppers going to bug out and they say I can live on a 1 acre of land, and you can't. Just for scavenging and hunting. Pilgrims and the people who lived back in the old days, they used to go miles and miles away from their home to try to find food. It's because once you get in an area, the animals will dissipate from there. One, because you're eating them. The other is because they don't want to be around you. And it does make sense, that they would travel, but then you would think, how do they travel?
I think they use portals.
I've heard the portal thing. I don't know.
That's just an objective opinion of mine.
It's the thing with me with that is if they could use a portal, why are they still in the woods?
Maybe they're not. Maybe they're at nighttime in the city.
I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those creepy things. But yeah, it's interesting. The whole portal thing. Now it's been a few years, but I had somebody that actually goes out and investigates or hunts them or whatever you call it, the person who goes Bigfoot hunting. And she talked about the portal thing. She said, the closer she would get to this, and she couldn't see it, but the closer she would get to this area, her mind would be scrambled and this and that. And I always, I'm not the type of person that thinks people are crazy just because I've never seen it.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I've never seen, but I still kind of believe in.
Right.
But until somebody can prove 100% that something isn't real or whatnot.
Well, I lean toward the portal suggestion because there's a lot more people in the woods than there was 20 years ago. Okay. You've got cell phones with cameras. So there's a lot more cameras in the woods now. There's just, there's at the end of the day, mathematically, it gets almost impossible without a portal or something like a portal for them to avoid being found, being seen, but whatever you want to call it. It's just, they just have a way. Maybe they carry the portal with them and, they can blink in and blink out. Yeah.
And then that's the other thing is people said that they've tried taking pictures and stuff and their equipment didn't work.
Right.
And that could be like they could set off a vibration or something, Yeah. Sound waves or whatever.
Definitely bipedal, but not they have other, one would assume they have powers that your average human doesn't.
Yeah, there has to be something. It's not like a rabbit because everybody sees rabbits. You know,
Right.
everybody's taking a picture of a rabbit.
Right.
Well, there's that that one funky rabbit with the horns and stuff on it that somebody made. I forget what that thing was called. But you know, that was man made. Somebody actually a taxidermist made that, and people still believe that was
the jackalope.
Yeah.
Well, there are tons of them down here mounted.
Yeah.
And, hell, I've even seen a chupacabra down here. So, you know, there's myths, legends, whatever.
Well, see that now you're talking something that I've kind of witnessed.
Well, I believe you.
Down in south of Tucson, in the desert. So I used to live in South Tucson, and there's nothing down there but trailer courts and a couple bars, and that's about it. And you see some weird stuff out there, and like over here, we hear about the Bigfoot stuff all the time, because Salt Fork. Now, when I was talking about them traveling and stuff like that, or migrating, the guy told me, he says, certain seasons, not every season, certain seasons, they'll come up above into Coshocton area, and then they'll go back down. And I asked him why. And he's, I don't know. If I knew that, I'd be rich. And he said, it's just, it seems like every so many years there's more stuff happening up here, and then it stops for a few years, which kind of does make sense. This one ranger, and I think he's told other people this too. A guy driving down I-77, which goes right along Salt Fork. You can see it over in the distance. Salt Fork is one of the biggest state parks there is around here. And he seen what he thought was a bear, and he just scooted over to toward the second lane, toward the middle, and kept on going. And he looked behind him, and this thing stood up. You could see in its brake lights. This thing stood up, was over 7 feet tall, and stepped over the median like it was a little kiddie fence or something. Stepped over it and walked off on into the woods. And that's just, you know, some of the little stories around this area. But I've always wanted to, you know, to get into it and stuff, but I wouldn't want to, you know, actually find it. You know, I'd take a picture or something, and
Especially if it's
I don't know if I'd stick around and you know, hey dude, and you know,
pull a Spicoli on them. No, it's not going to work.
It'd be like, I'd be afraid he'd take me home or something.
Right. Whether you
meet
want
the family or
well, I mean, every state or region has their creature or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, cryptid.
Yeah, you got the swamp things down there too, don't you?
We got the swamp ape. We got the skunk ape.
Yeah.
We got rednecks. we got Sheriff Grady Judd. He's a He's something. He's a character. But there's things down here in the woods where I'm not going out at nighttime unless I have to, you know,
Yeah.
with a really, really good set of lights and something hanging over my shoulder that's got a lot of bark to it. Because
Yeah.
what's the point?
Yeah.
We got not just the dog man down here. We've got what do they call him? The Florida man.
You got the cats, not the normal cats, but I think it's a wampus cat.
Wampus cat.
Because that's been a thing that's been popping up at Salt Fort too, is a wampus cat.
I'd have to look that one up. Yeah, Florida man. That's it. He just. Well, you guys look it up. You do your own research. You'll see what I'm talking about.
It's part of the Appalachian folklore or something like that. I don't know if anybody else has heard of the wampus cat.
I've never heard of it down here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's down there, but I do know that it's been in the Appalachian Mountains. We got snakes.
You got a lot of snakes. Grace, those creatures ain't gonna come New York City or New York. It's you got enough problems up there with all them psychos. Them animals ain't gonna go up there.
Yeah.
You
got the donkey lady up there to scare the
donkey lady. Now who's that? The donkey lady.
AOC.
Oh, yeah. Sandy Cortez.
Yeah,
The barmaid, the bartender. Yeah,
she's scary by itself.
She reminds me of Gollum.
And I did use the right title for that. I said it, because you can't assume genders with her either, or it. Sorry. Yeah.
Just say he, she. Got them covered. Yeah, she's gonna get
the Mothman.
Great, she got a blowtorch. Oh boy.
Yeah. 101 was finally did his live stream last night after a month. Or I should say a year.
A year.
Yeah, it's been over a year. He hasn't been on since 2025, so he finally got it out last night. I ended up missing most of it anyway.
I did.
I already knew what was going on anyway, but yeah.
Amazing weaponry. Yeah, that's good. Don't let Carmine know you got that, Grace.
So, in New Jersey, since you used to be a New Jerseyan,
Born and raised. The Jersey Devil are you talking about?
Well, no, I was going more for the Bigfoot stuff. Have you heard stories of, because I know the Jersey Devil, you guys have heard that, but any of the Bigfoot stories in Jersey area?
Yep. In a lot of the swamps, Watchung Reservation.
Yeah.
They're not like the northern stories that you hear, but it's like I said, every state's got a Bigfoot story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get too descriptive, but I was much younger than I am now. We were down in the Pine Barrens, and we heard, and this, I'd never heard anything like it. Now, don't forget, I hunted too for years up there, so
Yeah.
I know what a deer sounds like coming through the woods. I know what four legs sound like moving out.
Yeah,
Four legs.
the hook make it their
Right, but I mean, there's a cadence. Yeah, there's a cadence to four legs versus two legs, and
yeah.
this was just outright creepy shit. And I'm just like, that's it. So I got out, and we weren't that deep in the woods, but we never went back again. But I don't know what it could have been, but it wasn't
might have been
there.
What's his name? Two from Soprano were stuck out there for so long. It might have been.
That's when Paulie and Christopher, they were trying to pop that Russian that had in the truck. They were living on candy bars. That was a good episode.
Yeah. That's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, it took them a long time to find and do that, dude. Oh Lord!
And they said it was filmed in the Jersey woods.
Yep.
In the wintertime.
Mm-hmm. Tony Soprano's house was up in Watchung, New Jersey, which wasn't far from me.
Yep.
Like a 10-minute ride.
Yeah, I remember when Garden State Gardener used to do his videos of his area and stuff, and he did a video of the boardwalk. I'm like, I know that boardwalk. Right. And he said, yeah, that's the famous boardwalk that was filmed. Well, it's in tons of films, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Pine Barren in New Jersey.
Yes. Well, there's multiple boardwalks, obviously, in Jersey that were semi-famous and famous. The one that had the steel pier with the oh God, what do they call that thing when the circus came in? The Ferris wheel. And then you had Seaside Heights, which I used to go every summer since I was 10.
Yeah, I remember playing plenty of, and this was before Sopranos or anything, but I still remember playing a lot of small carnivores through that area in New York and whatnot.
Right.
Because those were the big money things. You'd make a lot of money at the county fairs, but you could make a lot more on the little, in the shopping malls and in the football fields from a high school football field or something.
You mean like street vendor with your wares?
No, carnival. Carnival.
Okay. I thought you were, when you said carnivore, I thought you were talking food.
Oh no. Yeah. I gotta get started with that here. That's probably why I'm thinking carnivore instead of carnival. Hey Jordan, good to see you. And I think Chris jumped in here. Tammy, hey Tammy, how you doing? Now, I had somebody up on, because myself, I don't think I've ever witnessed. I've heard things, and I don't want to say, oh, it was a Bigfoot, I've heard banging on trunks of trees and stuff like that, but to me, I don't know. It could have been a woodpecker until I can, just discern it was, a Bigfoot. I don't claim it is, because there are people that go out and every time, Bigfoot was banging on a tree. Bigfoot was this. Oh, I could smell him. That's every time. I'm like, you need to go play the lottery, because, there's people go their whole life and don't witness anything, but every time you go out, you witness it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only time I can think of something that was oddly would be a Bigfoot place or a shelter. And I actually I did some searching, and I looked for Bigfoot shelters. Now there were some, there's some wonky ones here, but there's some that, look like somebody built them, and then there's only one that I could actually find that looked like the thing that I seen. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can add this real quick. Right here, open in new tab. And it didn't open in a new tab. Let's see. Maybe not. Okay, well, I'll just, dang it. Oh, wait a minute. It just showed up. Okay. Open a new tab. There we go. Now I've got to add it to here. Your screen. So much stuff you have to do to add things. Be nice if I could just drag it over. And like I said, I don't know if you guys can see it too well.
Yeah.
But if you know what a wigwam is,
Sure.
A bushcrafting wigwam, it's where you get two branches, or you get a lot of branches, and you stick one end in, and you go to the other side and you make a loop like this, and you bury it into the ground or stake it in, and you do this over and over again. And that's what it seemed like this. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't by myself. Me and my friend was out, and I was probably maybe 13 at the time, something like that. And we were out in the woods, playing, doing kid stuff. And we came across this, and it had a musky, stinky smell to it. And it was almost eerie, like it was, you kind of got nervous in your stomach and stuff. And we got out of there pretty quick. And next few days, we heard weird sounds out in the forest, and I don't know what they were. Like I said, I don't claim to see one thing or hear one thing or the other. My friend at his house, which was like 5 miles down the road, said he started hearing things too. But then again, that's the only version that I seen that looked close enough to what I had seen. And this is a small shelter. This would, to me,
it's like a
7-foot family of Bigfoots wouldn't live in this.
Unless they're crawling in and laying down. Yeah.
And the thing is, the one we went into, we didn't go in it, but we could have went in and stood up. It was that big. Right. And there was, because you could see inside, and it was a bunch of briars and bigger branches like this that were looped in and stuck into the ground. It's like somebody took it into the tree and jabbed it into the ground, and it just stood there. But yeah, some of the other ones that I found are just, it looks like regular bushcrafting type shelters were made, and they're trying to pull them off as Bigfoot.
That odor that you mentioned that they said was on that's also another common denominator when people supposedly see, Mr. Fuzzy.
Yeah. And this was in Oregon, Phoenix, Oregon, outskirts of Phoenix, Oregon, actually. Yes, there is a Phoenix, Oregon.
B, you're always worried about snakes.
But yeah, it's again, I don't claim that it's a Bigfoot shelter or house or whatever.
Well, it looked like something put it together, right?
Yeah, because it was, if it was man-made by somebody, how they got some of those bigger branches, because if you got a tree that's that big at the base of one side, and it's 15, 16 feet tall, first of all, going up there and bending it over and then sticking it into the ground, that's the thing that got me. And I was like, no, I'm out of here. I was gone. The smell made it was like, it wasn't like a skunk, but it was like a musky, not like a wet dog, but if a wet dog stayed outside in the rain and then rolled around in a dead body, that's what it would smell like.
I've got the perfect word for it, but I can't say it because it's from a Austin Powers movie, so you get the idea what the smell would be like.
Yeah, good old Survivor, man. I used to laugh at some of this. Oh, he's doing a Bigfoot show now. And then I started watching it and I was like, oh, this actually makes some sense. When he was talking about the trees and stuff. Well, even here, there's a guy that was reporting, and I think it was in our local paper, that he came across signs of a Bigfoot. And I'm like, what are the signs of him? And he came across his tree and the branches were not broke, they were twisted. Like somebody went up and twisted them. Mm-hmm. All on the whole tree, not the whole tree, but like 8-9 feet tall. And all the branches were twisted. And that was that's what Bigfoots do, evidently. And I'm like, why? That's my question. I'm not saying that it was a Bigfoot or it wasn't, but what would be the reasoning to it? The same thing with the rocks, the stacking of the rocks. Mm-hmm. Some say it's to give the people behind them, or the other Bigfoots behind them, where they go, or where the water is, or something like that. Yeah, I've watched quite a bit of them. Again, he's even said it. He says every time we come out here, or every time it's recorded, we could have came out here 30 times, and you're just watching it now. He says not every episode are filmed back to back. He says sometimes we come out here for months and don't see anything or don't hear anything, but everybody gets the idea that every time they go out, they hear stuff or they see stuff. But he'll go out for months at a time and never see anything or hear anything, and then at one time, and that's what they record. They'll go out and record these episodes, but they don't produce the episodes that don't show anything, because who wants to go out and not hear anything? That's just like the ghost hunting thing is.
Yeah.
That irritates me so much that there's certain, people out there that do these investigations, and every time they hear something, every time, or he scratched me, or he bit me on the shoulder, and somebody grabbed me, every time. I wouldn't want to be around that person if it was true,
Yeah, a lot of those shows have been proven too to be a hoax.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was investigator that joined one of them, and weeks afterwards, they came out with a video saying that they didn't want to have anything to do with this other group because they were so fake and everything.
Yeah.
It was just horrible. And I think they're still on one of those channels, but, and again, they see something and witness something every episode. That's what I liked about the ghost hunters, because they'll do an episode and never find anything, or they'll find just a minute thing, like they almost hear a voice or something like that. But they do it as they give history about the place that they're investigating and things that the people have seen or heard, which makes it an interesting episode. But they even said that TLC, I think is the channel, wanted them to, or no, it was Discovery Channel, yeah. Wanted them to say they hear stuff, or they said we'll doctor the images so there'll be shadow figures going by, and they said no. Yeah. And that was the downfall of, well, one of them actually left. One of the main guys of Ghost Hunters left because of the network wanting them to.
Yeah, the network production company, they're you can't trust those groups.
Yeah.
They're just there for airtime and money. But that's their job, so that's why I don't know if you remember it. He kind of came on after Counts Customs and car shows, but it was Rick's Restorations. He worked with his son. Remember, they'd restore old Coke machines and old bar stools and barbershop chairs and stuff like that. And he was interviewed. I forget where I saw it, and he literally cut ties with I forget the network's name, because they had too much control over what he did, what he said.
Yeah.
They were just too controlling.
Yeah, that's like the Pawn Stars or whatever it was. That wasn't even filmed at the pawn shop. Maybe at first, but afterwards it was a whole studio where they had people come in that wasn't trying to sell. It was just scripted.
Right.
And then they would have the experts come in that was already scripted to do this and that. It's okay to have reality shows, but when the reality comes to where it's scripted, it loses its
reality.
Yeah. Well, you sit there and think about nowadays we have deodorant and all that stuff. They still had stuff like that back in the days without electricity and running water, but it was all natural stuff that they would make. You know, I still remember my grandpa collecting all the ash out of a fire pit, and he would say he was going to make soap out of it. I never seen him make the soap, but I'm sure because he always had the big blocks of soap that looked like it's been cut in big old chunks.
Right.
And that's where they got the lie from. But I sit there and wonder, are our bodies getting used to deodorant and stuff? And, you know, say shift thing happens, would we smell more than they would have smelt back in the olden days? You know what I mean? Because our bodies are so used to being covered up by you know, deodorant and these other stuff. So I wonder, you know, oh, there's somebody coming, you know. We're going to be able to smell people down the road.
Then again, back that far, people didn't bathe twice a day. I mean, sometimes I'll take 3 showers a day if it's hot enough when I'm outside. But
well, yeah, so, you almost have to.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you can dry off, but you'll still stink. So
yeah, and that goes. I mean, when I was a kid, I don't remember anybody having air conditioning, and it didn't seem like it was that hot, but it was hot, you know.
Well, how about the people that never had
our bodies got so used to it, and then like now our bodies are so used to air conditioning. When we go outside and it's 70 degrees, you know, we're sweating and it. Hurry, turn the AC on in the car before we get into the next grocery store, you know?
Well, I'll take 70 all day long.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be, I think this Friday or the beginning of next week, it's going to hit 80 down here. And that's, to me, that's too warm for.
Oh, yeah.
The humidity's down though, so.
Well, even you go back in the Roman times and the bathhouses and stuff, it wasn't soap and everything. They had these stick things that they would squeegee off of the sweat and grime and stuff. That's their idea of.
And the water in the cisterns that were in all of those places, you're using, you know, like you're like the 15th person that's using the same water.
If you're lucky.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's when you need to find a brook or a pond and just dive in.
Yeah. I've took plenty of baths in a creek. You know, the crawdads and the fish probably didn't like it too much, but
the closest thing for a bath for me was where the hell was I? It was so hot, and I had chest high waders on. I was fishing. I just took my head and my sunglasses off, and I took my head and I just put it underwater, all the way underwater, just to, get the heat off me. But I never went into the stream with soap or anything. But I know they did back in the day.
oh yeah,
in the pond. They wash off in the pond.
Well, I remember at my grandpa's, he had this big metal tub. That's what we took our baths in.
Yeah. You better hope you were the first one in there too. Because you get the next guy's bathwater.
Oh no, it was like all fresh water. It wasn't like he'd take a bath and I'd take a bath or something like that. It was like one day he would take his baths and the next day I'd take my baths, and unless I got dirtied up and I went down in the creek or something.
Yeah.
But he would put a big kettle up on the potbelly stove and warm it up. And that was if you're lucky. If not, he was in that cold, because this water came from a hand dug well that I had to pull water up from to take a bath. Huh?
A hand pump well?
No.
No.
Pull the bucket out of the water well.
Oh, that kind of well. Dang.
Yeah, and it didn't. And I always asked my grandpa, because we would go to. He would take me to the bar and I'd watch TV, and one of the things was Bonanza, and they had a well that had the crank thing to where it would,
the rope and all that.
And I'm like, why don't we have one of those? And he says, that's what you're for.
That's what you're for.
So, because I had to bring it up and then grab the bucket and dump it and then throw it back down, do that number.
When you think about it, that'd be pretty tough digging a well like that.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to backfill it, because how would you go straight down with a shovel? You couldn't.
I have no idea how it was done or anything, but
unless they used a big auger.
No, he dug it by hand.
You remember the shaft length, how deep it was?
It was at least to where the water was. In summertime, it was probably deeper than that. It was at least 30 feet down.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah, at least, because, and again, that's kid measurements too, so it might have been 20.
Right.
But I just remember the rope, and then how long it took me to pull that thing up. Yes, and it was stone lined. I don't know how and I don't think it was stoned all the way. I think it was stoned only so far.
Far down.
Because I remember the top of it was all stone that he pulled up from the mines and the creek down below, and we just had a piece of plywood over top of it, and then whenever we needed water, we'd take the plywood off and then pull it up. And it was a metal bucket. I still remember it was a metal bucket that went down there, and I had to 3.5 I think it was 3.5, or was it 2.5? I can't remember. Buckets to do a 5-gallon bucket. That 5-gallon bucket took me so long to carry that thing in there. I'm wobbling all over the place, and it looked like I wet my pants because it would splash up on me. But the only time I started getting embarrassed when the neighbors came over, and the neighbor girl, when I was in the tub, and they'd come over and they'd be all sitting out there next to the fire, which was about 6 feet away from the porch where we took our bath. And I'm like, and I'm getting wrinkly and everything, and I was like waiting for the perfect moment to hurry up and jump out and run into the house real quick so I can get dressed. Yeah, that I would probably said she was probably my first girlfriend back then.
The one watching you bathe?
Yeah. Well, she was the only one around, so yeah. I ran into her years later. She still had the house up there because I went and took the kids to because it's a memorial area because of the coal mine disaster there.
Right.
Because that's where my grandpa lived, in a shack right there, or a shanty. I don't know the difference between a shack and a shanty, but that's what he called it, as a shanty. Mm-hmm. And that's where my dad, my uncles, all lived in there while my grandpa worked at the mine. And I went back there and was showing the kids. That's where I grew up. And at the time, it was all grown up, and, nobody was living there, and the shanty was already taken down. But you could see the pond that my grandpa dug by hand, by the way. He dug out a pond by himself. And that's where I learned how to fish too, in that pond.
Nice.
We would go to neighboring lakes and stuff and catch fish and bring them back and put them in the pond.
Yeah, stock up yourself.
Yeah. And I caught I forget what my grandpa called it. It was a catfish. He called it something. And I didn't have a regular fishing pole, like with a reel or anything. I had a cane pole. And the best thing I used for bait was a dough ball. And I'd throw I'd keep it in not squish it up or anything. I would keep the bread size, and fish would come up there and boom, I get a hit. One time I caught the biggest catfish in there. And my grandpa called him something. I forget what he called him. And I was having such a hard time. I put that cane pole over my shoulder and was running up the bank pulling. And it got him out there, and I was screaming and hollering. My grandpa runs out with his double barrel shotgun. What is it? I got him. He come running up there and grabbed a hold of him.
Well, I hope you ate it.
I can't remember if we did. We might have put him back in there, but I can't remember. All I remember is catching him. And my grandpa running out with the double barrel shotgun. which he told me he had $1.80 in his shotgun. I never understood what that. I know what it means now, but
Chicken livers work good too.
$1.80 or $1.50 or something like that.
Right.
And I always wondered. I said, I wish I could have went and checked it out and see if he actually had. I think it was dimes. I don't know what, if it was nickels or what, but I would think it would have been dimes, because it seems like that would have been the perfect size.
Yeah, if it was a 12 gauge, probably.
Yeah. But he only used it for one thing. To scare the crap out of somebody.
All right.
He had other guns.
Works good too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we kind of got off track, but that's okay. It's almost 9 o'clock. I don't know if anybody is going live here tonight at 9.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of people live right now, actually. Because usually I would, flip over and let the girls go live and whatnot. But let me think. Actually, Rebel Canners is live right now, so I can send everybody over there. Let me get her link here. And we should be, if anything, I'll be going live Friday at my normal time. Try to get back into a good schedule. Normal content, but again, if this is something you wouldn't mind watching, come back and leave a comment and tell me if you enjoyed it or you don't want to see it anymore. It doesn't matter.
One thing we forgot to mention was food. So
yeah,
that's the first.
Yeah.
And again, we just mentioned it. So
yeah. Oops. Too late now.
Yeah. Got to get the food in.
But if you wouldn't mind jumping over and going and visit Rebel Canners, she is live right now in their cream of anything soups. I guess they're talking about soups and stuff. So there's your food. Head over there and tell them that we sent you over, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah. Thank you. YouTube, don't copyright this.